We got to talk about this real quick. All right. Washington Post over here. Democrats plan 4-hour live stream with Twitch and YouTube stars. The plan is the latest outreach to young voters online by political parties. Hey, written by Taylor Lorenz. Hell yeah. Internet bestie Taylor Lorenz. We follow each other on Twitter. Pretty cool. On Friday morning, Representative Ro Khanna will kick off a 4-hour live stream from a Washington rooftop overlooking the White House with some of the biggest political Twitch and YouTube live streamers. The creators include Clara Sorrenti, known online as Keffals, Stephen Bunnell, known online as Destiny, and Ian Kocinski, known online as Vosh. The agenda says they will be discussing issues such as climate change, affordable housing, and student debt relief. So yeah, this is actually pretty big news. We got Keffals, we got we got Vosh, we got Destiny talking with Ro Khanna, and this has the potential. Again, I think we need to set aside, just ideologically, set aside that maybe you just hate some of the people I mentioned right there, right? Set that aside and just consider the fact that Ro Khanna right now, with this plan, is tapping into an audience of hundreds of thousands of people. Hundreds of thousands of people who are typically ignored by mainstream media outlets. You know? This is actually like a pretty insane thing. We have a sitting member of Congress reaching out to an audience that is incredible and is typically overlooked. And it is going to be it's going to be really interesting to see how this shifts the way politicians interact with kind of this not even new media. This is like new media, streaming. I mean, a lot of politicians these days are still stuck on the idea of like email being a cutting edge technology. So the fact that this is happening speaks to a really great shift for the Democratic Party to reach people who would otherwise maybe be non-voters. Again, young people in America generally don't vote. So the fact that this is happening, that this outreach is moving forward, is deliberately planned to mobilize the least likely to vote generation that is most likely to vote Democrat. We just need to get these people to the polls. That's the goal. We just need to get young people to the voting booth, and we can win. That's honestly the best move here. And if we can get this to be like a recurring thing where politicians reach out to streamers, which reminds me, I do need to reply to an email. A campaign manager actually reached out to me to see if I could interview a politician, a political candidate. So we gotta respond to that and say yes. But yeah, no, this could be like a new thing, right? Yeah, I identified heavily with not voting for a long time. Yeah, we just have to motivate people to show up. That's 95% of the battle for Democrats. And yes, hopefully, not to like toot my horn or anything, but I was tangentially involved with this plan, and pretty excited to see it actually coming together, and also hoping that maybe in the future I can maybe talk to sitting members of Congress. Well, I did talk to a sitting member of Congress. I talked to Ilhan Omar, but you guys don't get to see that conversation because it was not on camera. But I don't think most people understand how screwed LGBTQIA plus and women are if Republicans win in 2024. Yeah, honestly, Simzoid, it's just a matter of getting out information to young people. Right? The idea that, like, your queer friends, they could be thrown in jail for using the wrong bathroom. Right? Your trans friends, well, they're just not going to be able to go to the hospital. Republicans are going to empower religious bigots to be able to say, oh, I'm sorry, transness is against my religion. Oh, being gay is against my religion. I can't in good conscience provide you medicine or provide you medical aid or serve you. You know, like that's what's on the ballot in 2024. And we need to make sure young people know that, because these are issues that directly affect their ability to live and be happy and, frankly, be gay. Because I know a lot of you young folks are gay as hell, and more power to you. I love seeing you happy. I've been binging some videos. It's been a good time. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying the video content that I've been putting out. I wish they could talk to Hasan's audience. I feel like his viewer base actually has a lot of people who wouldn't vote. Yeah, and that's the thing. I know there was an effort to get Hasan on board with this, and I don't, it obviously didn't come together, but maybe in the future that will happen more and more often. It's really horrifying seeing the situation in the US from Sweden. Yeah, it's really bad, and I'm sorry. I apologize to my international viewers, because I know that how bad it is here and like a failure of the left in the United States will run downstream and like affect the politics in every other country on earth. And I hate that. I hate that a loss for the left in the US empowers conservative and fascist factions across the world. So this is like a really existential issue, not just for the US, but if you care about international politics and international freedoms, like it's a problem for the world. Which, by the way, is why when we're going to be organizing for 2024, we're going to be making sure that international people know that they can actually help and phone bank. If you're an international person, you can't make financial contributions to US elections, but you can volunteer your time. You can volunteer to phone bank and text bank in US elections. So just things to keep in mind. It is surprisingly a very effective way for you to influence US policy. Hasan said recently he doesn't know what he could do to motivate people to make real change. Meanwhile, this is happening. Yeah, honestly, the fact that Hasan goes on his stream and he's like, I don't know what I can do. I'm just a guy, you know? Like, I'm sorry, I'm just a trans lady with an audience of like 100 people who tune in every day, or a couple hundred people on a good day. And guess what? Our community was able to turn out thousands more people to vote for John Fetterman. Our community was able to turn out thousands of people to turn out for elections in states across the country. And I have a minuscule fraction of the reach that Hasan has. The reason Hasan feels powerless is because he has conditioned both himself and his community to feel powerless. And that is entirely on his shoulders. It's one of my main critiques of Hasan, is that he has convinced himself and his audience that they do not have the power to affect change, and that is just a defeatist attitude. That is unironic black pill attitude, okay? The doomerism has gripped his heart and the heart of his community, and I'm here to tell you that we can change things. We can make things better, but it relies on us actually doing work, actually showing up to volunteer for phone banks. And you know what? When you do turn out, when you do actually show up, guess what? You make friends. You are actually able to convince people to turn out, because guess what? You're not debating people on the street. When you call people up, you're not debating them on the phone. You're not debating them via text messages. You're not debating them when you go door to door. You are being sent to people who are likely voters who might otherwise just not know what day the election is. They might not be planning on voting because they don't know that they can actually affect something in their communities. But that is what we can do when we actually talk to people and mobilize our community. So it's frustrating, right? Because he has an audience of hundreds of thousands. I have an audience of hundreds, and still we were literally able to make the difference between whether or not John Fetterman got elected. We did that. Our community helped make that so. And it is frustrating as hell to see somebody with exponentially more power than I have just be like, but we can't really do anything. And I don't know. I wish I could, like, sit down and talk with him because, like, we have the ability to change things. And he has the power to make that so. If he just mobilized and conditioned his community to get involved in that way. So, anyway, I hope you guys will stick around with me because I am genuine. From the beginning, I've said we're going to be bigger than Hasan. I am genuine about that desire because my desire is to be bigger than Hasan, to be one of the biggest streamers on this planet, so we can do good things to change the world for the better. By relying on each other, by relying on people power and organizing together. That is the only way we defeat corporate power. Okay? That is the only way we defeat the billionaires that are at our door, slavering their jaws for whatever pittance we have left, hoping to commodify our happiness and our joy. So, I hope you guys will join me, because I intend to do a lot of organizing for 2024. And like I've been saying for the past year, take this time and consider it time to train yourselves up. You know, get involved, learn how to do phone banking, text banking, get involved with some of the special elections that are happening in your local areas. And we'll talk more about specifics you can do in the future. But I know that I'll be working with Progressive Victory in the future to help organize these phone banking, text banking, door-to-door campaigns. And they do genuinely make a difference. So, let's get to work. How much of it can be blamed on laziness? Hasan is just an unwillingness to do those things. Honestly, like, I don't think it can be blamed on laziness. Like, was the segment I just did a lot of work for me? No, it wasn't. I just talked at the camera for, 10 minutes out of a several hour long stream. That wasn't a lot of work on my part, you know? I mean, Hasan might put it down to laziness, but I don't think that's fundamentally what it is. I think laziness is a byproduct of having given up.